Sorry, I'm trying to get this thing reset. My camera lady abandoned me. So her back was bothering her a little bit, and I understand that 100%. I mean, she doesn't suffer from the same issues that I typically do, but on that, hers are more knee oriented. You know, we've been moving, carrying tables, everything else, tons of stuff, right? So let me get this thing. Why are you not? Oh, you're not on. You're charging. Let me spin it around. 22. Did I put this on everybody again? I think I did. Did I forget to mark it as private? Well, you know what? If I forgot to mark it as private, whatever. We'll just be on here for everybody, huh? So, for those of you on Patreon, know what the hell I'm talking about. Those who aren't won't, but if you want to, you know how to figure it out. The one I just sent you pictures of? Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, well, that'll be fine, because most people aren't be on Patreon. Maybe the ones who aren't like, what in the world are they talking about? And maybe it'll generate a little extra interest, which we could always certainly use. So did you guys like the way we previewed that? That's what I really want to know. Is that something that is good to do? Would you prefer to see our sales done that way in the future? And then, you know, it gives you time to kind of process it, and rather than feel like you have to move fast for one, so hopefully that's a benefit. Two, you get a chance to see everything and see the weights, and hopefully we made that quick enough that on a bite-sized chunk of tin, you know, that you can go through and see your snake without having to spend too much time watching a big old long 30-minute Matt Rance video. Exactly. So it's not faulty. So it really is. The equipment's fine. It's just she hadn't really used it before, and I don't use it very often. We broke our normal tripod, which we would normally what we would use, and it's just, yes, this has got a learning curve to it. It should be better, but it's a pain in the ass. And I'm not a camera guy, so a little slower. We'll see, Chad. My thought was, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's oh, and if you missed it, Jimmy, don't worry. It's posted on Patreon, so you can go back and you can see it, and you can see it like it's pinned at the top. We'll leave it pinned for about a week, and then of course you'll be able to see them all, and then it will drop the actual list on Black Friday for what's for sale. It'll include, like you guys saw, some cool stuff, a few of the Alex things, a few normal things, and then a few getting up there things. So, yes. Has more racks than Carter has pills. I don't know who Carter with pills is. But we went quick on purpose, because I was thinking, I didn't think people would want to sit here and watch a 25-minute video if they were only interested in one snake. So the quicker they went through, the quicker they saw them, the better. But if you guys would like me to slow down on it and spend a little more time detailing, give you a little bit more time to preview the animal, we certainly can do that. That is, I was trying to anticipate what you wanted. If I anticipated wrong, man, let me know. I know a lot of those old Southern sayings, but I did not know that one, so I learned something every day. What's going on, Anthony? Oh, yeah, that thing sucked. Whew. I was expecting a close game, and going into it, I was kind of worried because we were down so many people, but man, that was a beatdown. I did not expect that. That was horrible. Yeah, Baylor. So here's what I don't know what we're going to do. These will post Black Friday. Once we get through those, we'll probably drop another list in hopefully December, and then one in January. It depends on whether, if we get backed up in shipping, we may slow down dropping lists and then just drop a couple. So, yeah. And they are up. So what this causes is supply and demand, and the ball python market's been really weird through COVID. So you'll see things, and it's not uncommon. And I'll give you some really great examples. So red stripes is an example I usually like to use for what you'll see happen in the market. And I think the demand for Axanthic is just going up, and people are also starting to appreciate good Axanthic lines over crap, and those shows, right, people. So you're just kind of seeing that demand. It's less, I think people may be planning more for their plants, things of that nature. But red stripe always used as a great example. Red stripe used to be really, nobody cared. I mean, it was an extremely low-cost gene. And then, of course, the JKR came out and had the magma stuff and the Pompeii. and really promoted that. And then all of a sudden you saw this run on Red Stripe, where Red Stripe became very, very expensive, very, very fast. And it's kind of boom, and I think it's come down some, but I don't think it's gotten down to what it used to be. So the demand went up for Red Stripe, and the supply wasn't necessarily there. When you start working recessives, you're always going to have less supply of recessive snakes. Yeah, it is a decent beer. But the reason for that supply of being less is it takes more time to work with your recessive stuff. It's harder to produce. You got to have on both sides, visuals, if you're using heads, so you don't get as many of them, which makes it harder to mix more genes in, because, if you want to mix more genes in, you're likely to make more heads or buy more stuff. And it's way cheaper to make, throw two snakes in and make different combos that are non-recessive. So people tend to do that more, but your recessives tend to hold value. It's a great example. It's been sitting at 350 since about the time I got in. So 22 season. Well, you see, go ahead and get that female, and you have one more ready by then, hopefully. Man up and get a real snake. That's funny, but terrible. Well, Wolf, it'll be here for you too. And here's the thing, for you folks too, where I think the discount level is going to pay dividends when you're talking about some of this stuff, because you start talking about percentages off a couple of those higher end snakes. If it's $1,000 snake, which of course you guys know the price is not that, and you're getting 35% off, that's $350. And we are going to release the Kryptons. They're all eating well eventually, and those are going to be in that price range easily, and you can save a ton. So being at that level, that's where it's going to save you the money. And I think it's going to be better long term than trying to figure how much discount you've earned or how much credit you've earned, just knowing the discount across the board. So I'm excited about that. It means less money for me, but hey, that's okay, because the monthly income that's standardized really helps us a ton. And for those of you that don't know, who aren't Patreon members, the $50 and $100 levels come with a built-in, I want to say it's 15% and 35%. Is that right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I wrote it down. So, which will be the charity snakes. So none of them on that list are the charity snakes. We're going to do charity snakes, a couple of them, well, at least one, maybe two. I plan on doing them November 30th. Those will be separate. We're going to do them like specials. For those two, the reason I've got one for sure. The other one, it just depends on how well they feed. Since I just got them, if they feed, again, they all fed wonderfully this first go round. All the ones not all, some of the babies had to help out. They were pretty small, but the ones that were like bigger, all ate great. So if I can get 2 or 3 meals in them, I want to make sure I have them for long enough that I know, okay, they're over that first move, they're ready to go. I don't want to double stress them. If they're looking good, we'll go ahead and probably do 2 for charity on November 30th, and then we'll probably do some charity, so sprinkle through till we move all those charity snakes, take that one big chunk of charity, and we're probably going to split it between 2 places as a plan right now. One of those places will be, we used to collect for hair for the holidays. We got to grow a beard all year, so that didn't happen. And we're going to try to get some kids sponsored for Christmas. It doesn't matter if it's after Christmas. Remember, what we raised last year is buying kids this year. What we raise this year will go to kids next year. And what time we release these for the sale on Friday? I don't know. I'll make the post and put it. Yeah, that sounds right. 15 to 35. So there you go. We will make the post sometime, and I'll probably have it set up for. I'll talk with the wife what time's best. I want to give people a chance to do their Black Friday shopping or whatnot in the morning, maybe catch a nap, get a second turkey sandwich. So I'd probably say around 7 or 8 p.m. would be if I was a betting man. Oh, and for YouTube, your video's coming out today. For Patreon, your video was the live. So there's that. And then you get this one, which is accidental. And yes, I know it's an old jersey. 2 white stripes of yellow came off yellow and white over here. And nobody should tell me football scores. I'm taping it. So I'm recording it for you youngins out there. All right, so is there any questions about what we did today and how we did it, and whether or not you would like to see it different? Slow down. Got that from Chris, so we'll take that feedback to heart. Would you prefer this kind of live video list? Sometimes it might be a pre-recorded video if we may just go and record it. That was their plan. I want to do it live today so we could just kind of be here. There you go. And see, and that's the thing, but if you know it's coming at a certain time, even if you're going to be running around, somebody out there could stop and know what's going to be on the list if it's worth dealing with it, right? But if you like that over the pictures of just a picture and a weight, let me know. Let me know. And if you prefer to say, no, that eats too much of my time, I'd rather just have pictures and weights, we can certainly try to do that or go back to that if more people prefer it. I just thought this is a little more personal and fun, which I'm all about. All right. Seeing nothing. Hook me up in the cardio. You like the life better. Awesome. Well, when it drops, it'll be just the list. So, you're talking about you run around today, so it'll be ready. Gotcha. So that way we'll have just the list, the number, the price. But you guys already know all that information. But then you can pick your number, mark sold. If you've got one you really want, it's going to be first come, first serve, like always on there. Yes. Okay, Destiny. That's we don't do that. Probably not something we should promote on here. I don't know. Yeah, you do you though. I don't care. Oh my. And you got hit by my mods on that one. They'll do that. They're pretty scrappy. They don't miss a beat, my mods. All right, so what is going on, Josh? We actually hit the wrong button. This was supposed to be more of a private thing, but I just left it open to everybody because hell, nobody watched it anymore anyway. And we're mostly talking about how we. I know, right? Oh, sore mouth for a BP. We were talking about how we're doing some of the sales coming up on Patreon. Drop the list during Joe's nap time. Here's the thing though, if she snatches that one up, remember I made more. And I got some really cool stuff coming out. Live, do both live and the picture post. The picture post and the live will be a little bit, honestly the picture post is really kind of difficult to do because Patreon crashes half the time when I do it, trying to get them crammed in. So the video post, if that works, will probably just stick to one or the other. Part of that's a time thing too. It actually takes me probably longer to do the pictures than it does just doing the video. Because if I do the pictures, I have to wait for it to crash 7 or 8 times. And then trying to get them to cram into the actual sales post, which is what we did the time before, is nice. But then people have to dig through it. And I know on my end how cranky Patreon is, for lack of a better word. So I figure it's probably the same on your guys' end. You're not late, are you? I mean, it depends how you look at it, I guess. But that's part of the fun, right? That's part of the fun. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff coming, man. We got Blitz coming to release. We're just really getting a release in the 2020s. I want to make sure it's doing well and get started. You know, we got Tofinos to release if you're into that. We've got some albino combos to release. We got some more Xanthic combos to release. You know, including some pastels, some spiders, some zebras, some super pastels or a super pastel. We got all kinds of stuff to go and push on out the door. So there'll be plenty. Nikki, if you want to do that, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yeah, yes, I am, Jeff, but don't tell me the score because we're playing now, and I got the little thing where I can watch it once it's done, but I can't watch once it's going on. They are cool, but you'll stand back. Jojo, if you want them, take them. If you don't want them, don't take them. That's the thing. People are going to give you a hard time for buying everything, but that's, you know, they don't want to do it if they don't want you to. Our job is to sell stuff. I don't care who buys it. I mean, you know, I want to go to good homes, and I know if it's on Patreon, it's going to be a good home. People aren't going to be there that long. So you have too many. Probably the general, or you can put it up for sale. It doesn't matter. And thank you, Nikki, if you want to do that. It's a huge help to me because, whew, $100 a week in rats. If we get those rats producing, you should be pretty low cost. I know the rat rack space you have. It might be worth having. Don't tell me the scores. It might be worth having Kurt come up and maybe see if he can help you get that rolling really good, because it would be a huge difference for you, I know. But then you got to do all the rat work. So the difference between Tofino and Candino, and it depends on who you talk to. And what I mean is you got Toffee and you got Candy. Did you? And I mean, if you want, I'm sure we can schedule time. He's a busy dude for him to come up, and I'll go with him, and he can help you. That's part of what you get. You know, you're close enough. We should be able to do that. There's no reason why we couldn't make that happen at some point. We can make that happen if it needs to. So let me get to one question to the Missouri for you. So the candy and the toffee, a lot of people think it's the same snake in different lines, and I tend to be kind of in that camp too. Coffee candy, probably the same thing, just two separate lines. Think of banana and coral glow. Some will tell you it's a different snake entirely, or butter lesser, kind of the same type of deal. If it's different, then it's going to just look very similar. If it's the exact same snake, just a different line, then there's no difference at all other than the name. But that's kind of where we work the line that is known as toffee. So we have toffinos. You know, I personally, candy's a better name. I mean, everybody loves candy, right? It does kind of sound, well, I won't go there. But I think it's probably the same thing and no difference. Personally. Thanks for saying you love the channel. As far as how we get the Missouri in bulk, is if you have a local like farmers co-op, which we have in about every town in Kansas, they usually can get it in for you, and that's what we do. Now, there's not a lot of people buying it, so here there is, but sometimes you'll be ordering a pallet at a time or several bags at a time. If you put a Candino to Toffino, I bet you will get things, but you will not know if they got their candies, toffees, Candinos. I mean, that'll be the hard part. So then people kind of shy away from it. And that's kind of what happened with the pastel, or sorry, not the pastel, but the butter and the lesser, is if we've kept those separate as breeders, I think you'd be able to tell the difference. Since people swear they can, but I've fooled every one of them that's ever come up by just pulling up pictures of the internet. You can't tell anymore. But if they were line bred separately enough, you would be. I honestly think cinnamon and black pastel, that's the same kind of thing. I think they do different things a little bit and look a little different because of that. So, yeah, and but if you're breeding in a lot of rats, which she's got a pretty good thing that she can go through, it's definitely cheaper to get the Missouri. Definitely cheaper to get the Missouri. And the co-op, I know, is one place that carries it. You can also look online, but it's going to be more expensive there probably. So, I think they do give a bulk discount, but to get a bulk discount, I mean, we buy it by like a pallet at a time. So if you're buying a pallet at a time, then you're going to start running into those discounts. But you got to buy that much. Before, when we were a smaller rat operation, we were just buying it at cost, and it wasn't a huge difference. Like, I don't think you're going to, I mean, you're talking probably a couple bucks a bag. Where you're going to pay a lot is going to retail resellers. So, yeah. FRM, $18 for 50 bucks. See, I don't think the Missouri's, I don't remember what it is. You have to ask Kurt, but it's not too crazy. So, you could probably go with that, Jeffrey. I mean, any plastic tub will pretty well do as long as the water's set up properly for them. I mean, they're not going to use the water dish. The water dish that's molded in has that. They're going to chew that through because it sticks up and eventually make an escape hole. We used to use the black concrete mix tubs, and those worked really well. So they'll get over it. And some of the dog food works really good too. I mean, I know a lot of people that do that. It's more about protein content, make sure the contents are right, and things of that nature when dealing with those. So, $40 for a 50-pound. In the Missouri, it might be more expensive. I don't know what we pay. Kurt could tell you that more than I could. But I know Missouri is like a zoo-based food, so like it's really, really healthy for them. But honestly, I mean, we're not keeping them alive for years here. This is going to sound terrible, but what we're doing for rats is we're raising them, we're trying to get them to grow, and we're feeding them to snakes. Right now, there could be a case made for you don't need the best food for that. Now, for your breeders, it's good to have good food to maintain weight. And we just feed everybody the same. So they were talking about cost for rat food for 50-pound bags of Missouri. All right, y'all. We have been here for about 20 minutes. It sounds like Nikki's going to try to put a post together for us. Thank you. That will show the weights and numbers of what's for sale and with prices, or at least what's for sale with prices. So a feed store, yeah, feed stores would be good to go. Ours are all just co-ops, what the feed store is. They're usually a lot cheaper than $28 sounds about right for what I think we pay as well. I think that sounds pretty close if I remember correct. I think 40's high. And if you buy enough, I think you lose like maybe a buck or two, but you got to like order in a whole pallet. Then they don't have to unpack it. You just go and you unpack it and pick it all up. We literally fill the back of our transit van with rat food. So as the worst eater. We have some that are like that. You're going to have some that are like that, All right, JoJo, we'll catch up. And some of us just finding what they like. Like we got one right now that the poor guy, we were told a rat ran him. We didn't produce him. It's one of the new ones we got. that one day a rat ran right at his face, and ever since then he's been scared of him. So, he eats frozen thaw. You all know I feed live, but the guy having forced us all able to get him to eat is frozen thaw because he gets terrified with the live rat. So what do? We feed pre-killed to him. Actually, we do keep a stock of frozen thaw. I have a few snakes like that. And what that basically means is, you have to find what's right for your snakes, and you have to do what's right for them. Sometimes that's difficult. I got one girl who will frustrate me every year. She never really loses weight, but every time she breeds, she's really hard to get back on food. Then once she gets back on food, you can't keep her from eating. Like, she'll just pack on the weight. So she does good, but it's super frustrating. I mean, she'll go, oh, I guess I'll eat mice. We're talking a 3,000 plus gram snake that I'm having to feed a few mice to. And then we have to work our way back up. It's just kind of part of the headache of dealing with this. But it's a good headache to have. I wouldn't trade it. All right, really quick, before I hop off of here, would you guys like to take a quick peek at the little Gaboon Viper that we got since we did lose our Gaboon Viper? Anybody? I gotta have one person say the word, and if you do, we'll do it. And if not, then we'll hop off of here and get out of there. There's a lot of yeses. I kind of figured we'd get a few of those. Pop the charging cord out. I'll turn this around. Ugh. Oh, look at the ceiling. Okay. This is long enough. I'm going to get you guys close and personal. Unless you don't want to be. I imagine you want to be, though. You can see this angers the crap out of her. But there you get a chance to really see her. Now, the reason hold on, it's not focusing well, and I can't really make it focus. I'm not putting my hand over that cage barrier for you. But there we go. Let me pull you back out. So you can see she makes a lot of noise. Well, here. Let me go ahead and close out, kind of show you. She just makes a lot of noise. You know what? We'll go ahead and spray her down a little bit. Oh, I see you. Give you some moisture. Yes. Oh, you like that, huh? And the trick is just maintaining your ranges. And then, like, we go to close the door, I'm not gonna have my fingers on the inside. We're gonna be on the outside of the door the whole time, making sure I stay nice and clear. And then we flip our locks back. See, done and done, all sealed up. Well, she's in this. I think this cage is made by Zilla. It's got a few different security measures to make sure that I don't forget to latch the door. I gotta put in to keep me from doing something brainless. So anyway, there she was. You can see she's growing wonderfully. What we're doing with her different than the last one, for those of you that are aware of what we went through, is we're keeping her cage in general less humid, and we're just doing some misting every day. She'll probably get more than that. It's hard to do that when she's in there. She's going to be put into the vision tank. I don't have any vision tanks. But I have the custom-made ones. She'll probably go on one of those, or a different one that I get. So sad. It was sad. So we'll always kind of, she's going to definitely outgrow this, obviously. And right now I've got a 6 foot cleaned out ready for her when the time comes. But we may go with a different 6 foot and put something else in there too. We got some different options. So we'll look at that when we get there. But what we're doing different is we're not keeping her cage as moist, for one. Yeah, same one. And then for two, what we're doing also is right now, we're keeping her on a feed schedule, like we always kind of have. But as she grows and when she gets some size to her, we will slow her food down a lot. Kind of get her to about what we do with our gaboons, which is our bloods. Which our bloods are going to end up going in 4 foot displays, right? That's coming on. I'll tell you here in a second, Jeffrey, the best way to do that. You may not necessarily like the answer. We'll see. But we will end up moving them into 4 foot displays. And they're currently on a once a month feed schedule, being in tubs. They don't do a lot. When we get them there, we'll kind of monitor it and keep them on once a month, maybe go up to every 3 weeks or 2 weeks. And she'll go to that slower feed schedule as well to avoid building up some of the fat tissue. Because I do still think part of that might have been responsible there. When they grow too fast like that, because she was big, which I loved, but I probably pushed that envelope too much, and that's on me. So we are doing things different. I do want to be open and honest about that. We pride ourselves in being transparent around here, at least as much as we possibly can. So before I go, Jeffrey, you asked the best way to get a hold of me, and spider bite, please. Oh, they're everywhere, and all my adults right now. We actually have a lot of them breeding. Every purple tab you see is somebody breeding right now. So I probably won't get into a lot of those today, just because it's an accidental video anyway. I just kind of went with it. But if the best way to be able to get a hold of me, so we have an email address, but it gets inundated. Our Facebook messages get inundated to the point that I just can't even honestly keep up with them or check them. I don't even try anymore. So the best way, honest to God, is to join our Patreon. And the thing with the Patreon is, Jeffrey, is that the level that's going to get you that is going to be $5 a month. But what you'll get for that $5 is way more than just being able to ask me questions. The Patreon message system sucks. We've learned that the hard way. So the best thing to do when you join that, you can get my cell phone number. All you got to do is ask for it. Any member can give it to you, or I'll give it to you if you hit me up. And then you can just text me. I get text messages really quick. Boom, boom, boom. I'm usually pretty fast at those. With that, too, you'll get access to what we have for sale when it comes up. You'll get access to monthly specials. You'll get access to double the video content that we produce on here. So you'll get, every time we have a video here, you get a video there. You'll get access to our Discord, where an entire community of people that are very knowledgeable will help you. And Mr. Boom Laser, the reason we do that is because it's people are paying to have that access, and it's limited. It can never get too big, So we put that out there because we have a cap on how many people can be on it anyway, and not that we're anywhere near there. And that's how we have that contact. Otherwise, it's very hard. It's very hard on our end to keep up with it. And I can always change the cell phone number if it gets too stupid crazy. We actually have 2 cell phone numbers. We have our business cell phone number, and then I have my personal cell phone. The business, I try to check once a week, but I don't always get around to it because got shit going on. But the other one is always on me because I use it for my day job too. So I get back to it pretty frequently and pretty fast. So, and it's a phone number. I mean, I ain't got nothing to worry about putting a phone number out there. I mean, I don't have my ringer on, so I don't hear it. I just check it. Otherwise, sometimes I could get, 2 a.m. stuff. I do not have any Amazon tree boas. We do carry them in our shop sometimes. And I agree with Chad. The Discord's worth it. It's worth it more than it is me. Like, it truly is, man. And that also, the other thing we started doing on Discord this year, it wasn't even my idea, it was a member's idea, is we have sales on there. Like, not from us. So if you produce snakes and you want to have a forum to get rid of them or to sell them to people as opposed to Morph Market, you can sell and buy and sell and trade on there. So it's there. It's all right there for people. So there's a lot of stuff that goes for sale on there. That's why when you saw Nikki asking, where do I put that post? I put it in the for sale section. And I said, I'll put it in the general. The for sale section is not for me to post what's for sale. That's for the members to post what's for sale. And it's awesome. So yes, that's how you get it as part of Patreon access. So the Discord is all linked to the Patreon. Once you join, you have access to it. If you leave Patreon, it should automatically remove you from the Discord. It is part of that service. $5 level and up gets access to the Discord. There are a few rooms in Discord you don't get at that level. Those are mostly because at the $50, $100 levels, they get to know the specials early and things of that nature, and we put that out in there as well. So, see, and there you go. It's great because then too, you can talk back and forth, and it's awesome. Hell, there's a Cards Against Humanity game going on there tonight. So I don't want to, the best thing that's ever come from Patreon, honestly, the thing that makes it long term worth the investment is probably the Discord, and with that, I mean, you have access to so much more than what I produce. And it's, and they can sell them other places too, but most of the folks I found, they like selling them on there because then they know who it goes to, and it's become this tight-knit community, and it's helpful, and it's great. And that was, I got to give a shout out to, to Anna. She's the one that put the Discord together and got me onto the Discord because I don't know how to use it that well. I pump in there quite a bit, but I'm not perfect at it. But it's awesome. The community on there is awesome, and it's positive. We don't have negative. They're there to help people. It's not Facebook where, I thought I'd dip my toe back in Facebook because there was a group that had a post, somebody was asking about me. I thought, well, I'll just go in there and join and answer it myself, right? Because we better have something about me than me. And, and it's actually not a bad one, but then you start getting these other groups and you see it in groups. That group I didn't see it in yet, but other groups I've already seen where people are still enjoying tearing folks apart. And it's just not my style, so yeah. I hope you do too. And I love that there's a market for it. And the funny thing is, when the sales market on Patreon started, somebody, I can't remember who it was that came to me and asked, hey, is it okay if am I allowed to do this? I don't want to post something for sale if it's against the rules, because it's my sales form, the Patreon and whatnot. And I was like, no, go ahead. As a matter of fact, and then I got with Anna, and she's the one that made the for sale section. I said, we'll make it its own section. So there's where you can go to look to buy, looking for, selling, whatever, and have that there all the time. And the reason for that, you'd think, well, why would you do that? Because if other people are selling there, you're bringing your own competition in, meaning that I probably won't be able to sell some stuff as easy because my members are spending their money with each other. That's true. That's true. It may force us to have to go back to shows sooner and things like that. But I'm okay with that if it makes the membership better, and it makes the community better, and it makes a spot where people can go, whether they've been breeding for 20 years, or like me, they've been breeding, I think this is our 5th year of production, probably 8 years keeping snakes with a purpose to breed. I've been keeping reptiles since I was in junior high or grade school. Or they're just getting into it and feel safe, feel like they can be who they are, they can ask a question, they can post something and not get ripped. That's awesome. No, not everyone is producing the same thing. I mean, we have people working VPI lines. So we have VPI Exantic, and you guys know I'm SK all the way, because when I got started, we have VPI stuff showing up on our Discord sometimes, I believe. We have all kinds of things that, pop in and out of there that aren't from me. So it is a really awesome thing. I love it. So, all right, guys, but that's enough of an advertisement. Let me hop up off of here. And plus, we do this all the time. If you, VPI Exantic Clowns here. See, there you go. I mean, look at that shit. So you're not talking just pastels and spiders. There's some high-end stuff on there, but there's also a lot of the base genes for building things there, too. It's amazing. It is. Every time I look back and see what that is, and it's not me. I didn't create it. The members created it, and that makes it even better, right? It blows me away. And we've benefited from it a lot. I'll own that. But it's honestly, the membership has done just amazing things. And the amount of charity money we're going to raise this year through Patreon members, whether we sell them in general or on Patreon, is going to be phenomenal. I can almost promise you, I know what we're going to be putting out there, that we're going to cover Christmas for at least 10 kids this year. And we're also going to make it a fairly large donation to help expanding a local zoo here. Not my zoo. Don't think I'm putting that in my pocket. I'm talking the actual city-owned zoo that's redoing all of its Asia experience to include better, safer, larger tiger enclosures for the buildings where our tigers live, things of that nature. That's we're going to help fund as well through that. So we always do stuff for animals. And that kind of stuff gives me chills that knowing what Patreon is doing also makes my community better. And you say it's amazing, you guys are awesome, but it's really not me. Most of the stuff we're selling for charity this year, because I got so busy, 2020 happened, I honestly kind of didn't realize it was November until somebody brought it up. And you'll see a video on that on Patreon eventually where this was coming from. And it's mostly their animals that I'm selling for that charity. And I'll kick in some of my stuff too, don't worry. But we're going to make it happen. And that's just great. So, all right, before I get overly emotional, that and Honey, I want to see what Honey can do. Oh, well, Honey the Gene. I was like, Honey, I don't know. That's good. Let me hop off here, get back, and go hang out with the wife a little bit for helping me film. Make amends because she's pissed at this device. And I probably was a little rough on her. I'm sorry. So, Pied triple hets. Triple hets are going to be awesome. I'm excited about the triple hets that we've got going on. And for you Patreon members, just know too, we hit that Krypton stuff, man. So we have is 4 visual Kryptons. We kept 2. We will be parting with 2 visual Kryptons. Those include a female and a male. We will also be parting with a lot of possible Het Cryptic stuff. Everything's also Het Desert Ghost. So we have one that's a Krypton Het Desert Ghost, and we have one that is a lesser Krypton Het Desert Ghost. So get ready for that stuff to post whenever it gets ready. That won't be ready for a few months. I want to feed it up, make sure it's got some size to it, make sure we put those out because they're not going to be, they're going to be expensive. That they're definitely well started, ready to go, good, no issues, right? So 10K, that's not too far away. Actually, it's far away still, but yes. All right, guys, we'll catch you all next time. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.